I might do it.
Okay. I'd like to call the February 16th, 2022 Board of Selectmen's meeting to order at 6:30. Mr. Pinio, do we have need for non-public?
Madam Chairperson, we do. Under RSA 91A3, lowercase a, 2 items of employment, C, 1 of reputation, and E, 2 items of pending litigation.
Okay, thank you. First item on the agenda is the minutes of January 19th. Does anybody have any changes or corrections? I do on page 3. Up at the top, it should say Black's Paper Store under the list. And then, just a minor one, a paragraph just above C, Worth for Fort Worth should be capitalized. Then, on page 6, the first paragraph, the last sentence in the first paragraph, it says, she stated, in looking at this land, we did not know what was ours and what was theirs. And then on the top of page 7, third sentence down, outdoor, it should be seating, not season. And then the paragraph just above the motion, and it's going to be the second line. It should say she would like the board to get copies of these draft survey plans to look over them. And that's all I have. Does anybody else have any? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. January 26th, does anybody have any corrections, changes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept?
So move.
Do I have
Second.
any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All righty. February 2nd, does anybody have any corrections or changes? I only have one minor one on page 7. It is the motion. The motion should read, it was moved by Luke Freudenberg and Brian DeShays, second, and then by needs to be taken out. Or we need to move the by in front of Brian. That's all I have. Do I have anybody else? Can I have a motion to accept as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed. All righty, we will start with the public hearings. I'll open up the first public hearing. It's the Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for the On the Green 1 Arts and Craft Festival on DeWolf Field at Brewster Academy, July 8th through July 10th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sunday until 4.
Hi. Christine Brown for Brewster. It's nice to see you all in person after last year when we were all on Zoom, so it's nice to see you. This is an annual event that sells some arts, crafts, and some snack foods, and proceeds for the field rental go towards day student scholarships.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this temporary event? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members, anybody have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
Move to approve a temporary event permit for On the Greens 1 Arts and Crafts Festival on DeWolf Field at Brewster Academy, July 8th through 10th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sunday until 4 p.m., permit number 2022-12.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'll open up the next public hearing. It's the Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for On the Green 2 Art and Craft Festival on DeWolf Field at Brewster Academy, August 12th through 14th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday until 4 p.m.
Yeah, ditto.
All right, is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this permit? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members, can I have a motion?
Move to approve a temporary event permit for On the Green 2 Arts and Craft Festival on DeWolf Field at Brewster Academy, August 12th through 14th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sunday until 4 p.m. Permit number 2022-13.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You have your 2 permits. See you next year. Okay, I'll open up the next public hearing. It's the Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for the New Hampshire Boat Museum to host Model Yacht Regattas weekly on Tuesday and Thursday from March 29th through November 3rd, 2022, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I believe you also want a rain date for Wednesdays.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Mark Whitehead, for those of you who don't know me. This is coming up on year number 13, and it doesn't seem possible, but it is. And it's been a very positive thing from our standpoint, and I hope from yours. We, between the skippers and the spectators, we usually have about 1,400 to 1,500 people over the course of the summer. So I think it's a very positive thing down on the path in the Back Bay.
Good. Do I have anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this permit? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. How did you do last year with milfoil? Did the boats get caught as they had?
It was, well, I don't know about milfoil or bladderwort that's in there.
Yep.
It was a little shaky towards the end, but I understood they treated at the end of this year.
Milfoil, they've done some pulling on milfoil.
And when they do that, it's fantastic the next year. We didn't have any trouble at all last year, but
Good.
this past year, we've had a little bit towards the end. Not bad.
Okay, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
All right. Board members, does anybody have any questions or comments? Hearing none, can I have a motion and also add Wednesday as a rain date in the motion?
Me. Move to approve a temporary event permit for the New Hampshire Boat Museum to host Model Yacht Regattas weekly on Tuesday and Thursdays from March 12th through November 3rd, 2022, Wednesdays being a rain date, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Bridge Falls Path, permit number 2022-14.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you got that permit. I'll open up the next public hearing, the Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for the New Hampshire Boat Museum to host a RC footy sail boat regatta at the Bridge Falls Path on August 13th, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
This one is a just-in-case permit. Last year, this is normally run over in Guilford.
Oh, okay.
And last year, we kind of got caught. They had too many weeds over in Guilford, so they had to move it over here. And that one is just in case the same thing happens. We'll already have the permit and won't have to sneak it in.
Okay. That
And
sounds,
there's one more in there, too. One more permit. Should be. Another footy regatta in June.
is,
That's the next one.
oh, yep, up
Okay.
here. Okay, yep, I see it's up above. Any further discussion? No, any public comment? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments from the board? Hearing none, can I have a motion? I skipped to 5, so you're going to read the motion for 5.
Move to approve temporary event permit for the New Hampshire Boat Museum to host a RC footy sailboat regatta at the Bridge Falls Path on August 13th, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., permit number 2022-16.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'll go back now. The Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for the New Hampshire Boat Museum to host the Model Yacht Regatta on June 18th, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Bridge Falls Path.
And this event's a very small one. I think last year we had 14 skippers, and they're the little teeny boats, 12 inches long, and very little impact on Saturday.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this temporary event? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members? Hearing nothing, can I have a motion?
Move to approve temporary event permit for the New Hampshire Boat Museum to host Model Yacht Regatta on June 18th, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Bridge Falls Path, permit number 2022-15.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You have your permits. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for the American Legion Post 18 to host a Memorial Day parade and celebration on May 30th, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at DeWolf Field, Brewster Academy, marching to the docks. Do I have somebody who'd like to speak to this permit?
You're up.
Okay, yeah, well, I just did the one for the Memorial Day parade. And do you want to speak to it in the microphone so people at home can have a better idea of what you're going to do?
The Memorial Day Parade will be held on
The 30th.
the 30th. Okay. Last year we didn't have a parade because we were just getting over COVID. But this year we're having a parade. The high school seems very anxious to get involved with the parade, starting at Brewster, going down Main Street and ending up at the dock side, where we will have a ceremony, a short ceremony. Last year, it was a short, but I think it was a wonderful ceremony. Everybody took it in. I think it was inspiring, appropriate. We didn't have any long-winded speeches, and everybody, I think, went home really happy about it.
Can you just state your name for the record so the secretary who's listening can get your name?
Tom Southern.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this permit? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members, any comments? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
Move to approve a temporary permit for the American Legion Post 18 to host a memorial parade and celebration on May 30th, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at DeWolf Field, Brewster Academy, marching to Dockside, permit number 2022-17.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And here comes the next one. I'm going to open up the next public hearing, the Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for the American Legion Post 18 to host the Independence Day Parade along Main Street, Monday, July 4th, 2022, rain date July 5th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The parade, you want to give us some information about the parade this next year?
Well, it'll be on Monday, and hopefully we'll have a nice weather. Last year it was abbreviated, and that was on purpose, because we were just getting over COVID. And so we wanted to have a meaningful parade, and I think it went off very well. People were very pleased with it. The complaints we heard was it was too short. Well, it was too short, but that was intentional. We got the parade, there weren't any incidents. I think it went off real well. As a whole, I think the community appreciated something like a parade to sort of break the ice, so to speak, for COVID. I think it did.
Good. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this temporary event permit? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members?
I have one question, Linda.
Sure, absolutely.
Are we going to approach this the same as we did last year as far as the parking downtown? Is that,
I would imagine so, and I imagine the police chief will come in at some time and request that
so
of
we'll
us.
do that separate, we won't put that on this permit at all,
We
okay?
usually do it separately,
Okay.
but I think, I'm expecting that to come in.
Yep,
And you meet and talk with the chief, fire chief, and the
Yes.
police chief, so.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, does somebody want to make a motion?
Move to approve a temporary permit for the American Legion Post 18 to host the Independence Day Parade along Main Street, Tuesday, July 4th.
Do I have a second?
2022, rain date 7/5, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., permit number 2022-18.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. You have your two permits.
We have what?
Your two permits. You have them. We granted
have
them.
them?
Yep.
Okay, now what were these, I'm having trouble hearing. What were these dates you were just mentioning?
It was July 4th and July 5th.
Okay,
Tuesday, July 4th,
yeah, right.
and rain date on Wednesday, July 5th.
Wait a minute, when you check
No,
your
it's-
calendars,
It's Monday, July
Monday.
4th, and Tuesday, July 5th,
Okay.
by
Yeah.
what is being said here.
that was last year.
It's written wrong in
It's
the...
written wrong.
Well, this is the, I thought, I read it, okay, the permit is for Monday, July 4th,
Yeah,
and the rain date, the 5th, correct?
that's what it's written. Yeah.
Here, I
Yep.
guess it isn't in the
You're
motion.
getting me confused there.
I know, well, it looks like we're a little confused
that's
tonight, too. Okay, yeah,
Monday.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll try for the next one. I'll open up to the next public hearing, the Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for Brewster Academy to host the 200 Women Art Exhibit in the Great Hall of Wolfeboro Town Hall on April 24th through May 28th, 2022, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Is there somebody from Brewster here to speak to this?
Oh, you're on.
Oh, here we
Hello.
go.
Hi. I'm on. I don't know if you can see
Gotcha.
me.
Yep.
Hi. I'm Nancy Hughes, and speaking on behalf of Brewster, we're excited to share this large-scale photographic exhibition with the town, and we're hoping to have several places in town to have clusters of these large-scale portraits, also on our campus and also at the public library. And we had come before you in the summer, hoping that we could pull this off for the fall, but COVID scuttled that. So we're back again.
Okay, and as I recall, you're going to put the pictures on easels up here at the Great Hall?
Yes.
Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this permit, temporary event permit? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members, do any of you have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
Move to approve a temporary event permit for Brewster Academy to host the 200 Women Art Exhibition in the Great Hall of Wolfeboro Town Hall from April 24th through May 28th, 2022, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., permit number 2022-19.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have that permit. We'll go to the next temporary event. I'll open up the next one. The Wolfeboro Board of Selectmen to consider a temporary event permit for Brewster Academy to host the 200 Women Art Exhibit in the Wolfeboro Railroad Station from April 24th to May 28th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And this is the same thing, it's just going to have different pictures down at the railroad station?
Yes, if possible.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this temporary event permit? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members, do you have any comments or questions? Hearing none?
Chairman. Madam Chairman,
Yeah?
this is Mary DeVries
Okay.
from the Wolfeboro Area Chamber of Commerce. And it looks like there may be a conflict with the railroad station space for some of those dates that are presented tonight.
When do you take over the railroad station?
May 1.
Okay, so we'll have to amend that to April 30th, right? So it's
Well,
okay from April 24th to April 30th, but you can't have the railroad from the 1st of May to the 28th,
Okay, thank you.
okay? Everybody made that adjustment? All righty. Does anybody on the board have any questions or comments? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve a temporary event permit for Brewster Academy to host the 200 Women Art Exhibition in the Wolfeboro Railroad Station from April 24th through April 30th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, permit number 2022-20.
Okay.
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All righty, we're done all those temporary event permits. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Do I have anybody in the audience or who are here virtual who'd like to give any public comment? Hearing none, we'll go on to the bulk vote. We have weekly manifest for February 4th, $2,227,832.76. That there must have been a payment to the school district. February 11th is $188,325.06. Current use applications, we have 7 of those. Property tax refunds and abatements, we have 4. Intent to cut, we have 2. Property tax exemptions and credits, we have 3. We have 1 payment in lieu of taxes for Hearthstone Homes, and we have another one, payment in lieu of taxes for the New Hampshire Boat Museum. We have 1 elderly and disability tax deferred release, and we have raffle permits from the American Legion and from the Wolfeboro Area Children's Center, and we also have an agreement with Goodhue and Hawkins Navy Yard to be our boat agent. Does any member of the board have any comments or questions or need to remove any of those? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the bulk vote?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have no board and committee appointments. The next one is new business. Elizabeth Shannon, the National Rare Disease Awareness Day.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Shannon, resident of Wolfeboro, and I'm also an appointee to the State of New Hampshire Rare Disease Advisory Council, and this is...
I'm Kendall Mohan. I'm a senior at Kingswood, and we're hoping to have a little light show on February 28th.
So February 28th is Rare Disease Awareness Day. We have a proclamation from Governor Sununu. I think this is only the second time New Hampshire has done this, but the Rare Disease Association has been lighting up buildings for, I believe, 9 years. And just to go over a little bit about rare diseases, there's 7,000 of them, and each one affects less than 200,000 people. So I actually have 2 of us right here. And 90% of them don't have any treatments. So just to raise awareness for the cause, I would like to have permission to just use some solar lights and place them in front of the library, pointed up at the white sections that are in between the windows. They are solar, so they would come on when it's dark, and they'll just go off when they run out of light. And Kendall.
I also talked to Mr. Donnelly this morning about trying to put something together at the high school. We haven't gotten all the details figured out, but we're hoping to do some solar lights there too. He said that we could plug in stuff if we needed it, but just a little awareness, because I know that we're not the only two that go through this every day.
Okay, that's very nice. I did receive an email from Amanda King, that is under the library trustees, and they are fine with it. So you may want to just kind of check in with her.
I have.
Okay, beautiful. That's probably why I got this. The board members, anybody else have any comments or questions? And we'll give you permission to do it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and explaining it to us. Okay. Next item on the agenda has been rescheduled, or will need to be rescheduled. It was with Senator Bradley, and we were going to talk on SB 249, short-term rentals. So we're going to move on over, and we're going to move on to C, Park and Ride Trolley Shuttle Wolfeboro Trolley Company.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice hybrid meeting. Well done. Congratulations, and whoever the folks are that put it together. Thank you very much. I'm Kathy Fairman, and I'm with the Wolfeboro Trolley Company. And I'm here to really want to thank you for letting me come before you to update you on our plans for a park and ride shuttle. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the Wolfeboro Trolley Company, we've been here in Wolfeboro since 1987. Coming up on 35 years. And Molly the Trolley does narrated tours of Wolfeboro to introduce folks who may be coming here for the first time or wanting to find about what there is to do. So we go to the museums, we talk about the history and about some of the points of interest here in town. We have many residents who ride the trolley every year. We also provide private charter service used again by many of our residents and folks who may be weddings here. We do about 65 private charters a year, many of them here in Wolfeboro and some of them in the Greater Lakes region area as well. We also do a joint promotional program with businesses here in town. We have about 85 businesses that work with us to promote Wolfeboro outside the area and to hopefully bring them here so they can come and enjoy the oldest summer resort in America. We're very proud of that. But we're very aware, and we see it firsthand, of the parking situation, and not just parking, but the traffic congestion situation in the downtown area. So it was just over 2 years ago that I was here chatting with you folks about it and asking for your support in what really is a combination private-public partnership, which we had all put together very nicely, and then along came something called COVID. And we postponed that and put it off for 2 years. We're back here now looking at the same program, a couple of tweaks to it that I just do want to mention. The need is as greater than ever, as we can see by the last 2 years. The growth that we have seen and the interest in Wolfeboro has only increased in the last 2 years, and I don't think any of us see that we anticipate that will really change. I know that the rooms and reservations are very strong. We're going to have another crazy year. So every car that we can keep out of downtown in the summertime, in July and August, and that's the focus, that's our goal right there. As we looked at it in considering what we can do, we know that 1.5 miles up the road, we have literally hundreds of parking spaces that are empty when school is out. And our goal is to get the cars out of downtown and up there so that people can enjoy downtown more. Even our local residents will be able to come downtown and be able to go in and do the things that they want to do and visit the shops. They don't have to just throw their hands up and say, I just don't go downtown in the summer anymore. So we want everybody to be able to enjoy this. So here's the goal. So we've brought on a second trolley, which we really have, and this trolley, named Jolly the Trolley, he's got a big job to do. What he will do is every day starting the 1st of July through the end of August, we'll run a shuttle every half hour, leaving Kingswood Arts Center parking lot and heading downtown, and then just going back and forth on that route. Last time we talked about the fact that the second trolley would go to the railroad station, circle to the town docks, and then go back up. Not sure we'll go into the town docks. I want to explore that a little bit more. That is getting more and more congested. It's a tight area. It's a public safety area concern. And I'm not sure that it's of benefit to have 2 trolleys going in and out of there. So I want to explore that a little bit more. Maybe something as that area is changed and adjusted, maybe that'll work out better. I know it would be more convenient if we were to able to drop off and pick up at both locations, but we would be going specifically to the railroad station. The other is open for discussion. Again, leaving on the half hour, so we just go back and forth. The goal here is we're starting at 8 and running to 6 in hopes that we will capture the people who work downtown so that they will park at the high school. We are offering season passes for $100 for anyone who wants to do that. We do sell signs. The advertising on the trolley, the signs on the trolley are a very important part of what will make this successful, as will the sale of the season passes. Folks who buy a sign on the trolley will get 1 to 2 free season passes for their employees. So we want to get, if we can get those cars out of downtown, that's the first big step there. And then we hope through promotional efforts, both online with our brochure and map, which we distribute throughout New Hampshire, on advertising that we'll do, and then with our social media and the businesses, again, working together. It can't just take the town, the school district, and the trolley. We need the businesses in town to promote it on their social media as well, to let people know that that's where they can get a ride and get downtown and go back. So we also hope what they'll do is people coming into town will park their car, ride downtown, and not just stay 2 hours, not have to go back to their car and leave town at that point, that they'll come and be able to stay and take a boat ride and do some shopping and have lunch, do all the things that we want them to do. So that's what our goal is. So what I need from the town, the Governor Wentworth School District has given us permission to use the Kingswood Arts Center parking lot. What I'm looking for from the town is permission to put up a sign at the entrance to McManus Road, indicating that that's where people will get the park and ride shuttle. So this is what the sign looked like that we have proposed for a couple of years ago, and that's basically the same thing that we're asking for now.
Board members, anybody have any questions?
I have.
Brian?
So I thought about this, and the one thing I thought about was when you leave the high school and you come to going downtown, it must be lots of traffic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't expect a lot of traffic at 8 in the morning. There's a period of time when we know we run into traffic, and there's certain days of the week when it is greater than others. But what we will be doing is we won't come straight down the hill. We will follow the same route that Molly the Trolley does at the present time, which was we'll make a right at Pickering Corner and then left on Laner Street and come in that way, because that's what we found to be the successful thing.
And I understand all that. That's where I was going with that too was, have you ever thought about going into the Foss Field, on the Foss Field lot on the way, and picking up maybe people that are parking there on your route?
We have a stop there, and if anybody just raises their hand, then we pick them up there as well.
Okay. That's all.
Any other comments? I'm excited. We thought we had this going 2 years ago.
I know.
The board gave permission for the sign 2 years ago. I think it's a great idea. If we can get this so more people use the trolley and to get downtown, I think it'll be a winner for us. So I'll make a motion that we allow the Wolfeboro Trolley Company permission to put a sign up at McManus Road stating that that is where you start the pickup.
Second.
Does anybody have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain because my wife does a lot of work for Kathy, so I'm going to abstain on that one.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
Okay.
Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it.
Wish you the best of luck with that.
I'm going to tuck in just one thing that you might put in the back of your head, and probably it's a way to come back, is that it might be wise to consider compact car parking in the dockside area. Something I thought about when I was going through this. Just something to turn around there and maybe put it through a different thing, but it might be something to do because the bigger trucks can make it very difficult for the really important ones like fire truck or ambulance to get in and out of there. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Next item on the agenda is Brewster Beach lease. Jim, do you want to do that or you want me to do that?
I can take care of that.
Thank you.
So we've been working with Brewster for quite a while now to be able to get the beach lease buttoned up. We had a couple of virtual meetings over the past week, and we've actually got that pretty well contained. I believe we are in agreement with Brewster. We cleaned up some of the language to reflect the change in time as the Board of Selectmen had requested. We also spoke with them regarding their desire to close the parking lot. We felt that that was problematic, so we're going to investigate installing a fenced gate down closer to the beach so we can keep that parking lot open all day, all evening, and all year long. We also cleaned up language regarding mowing and dealing with hazardous trees on the property. So I think that we have captured everything that came back from the board after the last discussion about the lease. Brewster is in agreement with it. So I think short of that, Linda, if there's anything you want to add, we can try to answer any questions the board may have.
No, you took care of it all. Nice job. Does anybody have any questions? Brian?
I have one question. On page 4, small letter C at the top, it says, prohibit public access by gating the property during the hours of closure. Do we know the hours of closure yet?
The hours of closure are going to be the same as the town of Wolfeboro has in their ordinance, which is your 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Okay, and by gating the property, it doesn't, do we need to know where the gate's going to be yet, or is that just going to be left open-ended?
We don't know yet. That's something that I will be working with Peter Gilligan on to establish where that fence is going to go and have it installed. They wanted that closed off. We had a problem with closing off the parking lot for general use. Yeah. So we felt it was a good compromise to be able to do that. So, you know, as weather improves, I'll be in contact with Peter and we'll facilitate getting that taken care of.
I just hope that that gating part doesn't become a contention with them if it becomes a back and forth of where is the gate going to go, where's the gate going to go, where's the gate.
Yeah, no,
What I will say, they were very easy to work with. We had conversations, different points of view. They were more than willing to hear us out and to make changes. So I didn't feel that at all with any conversation with them. Jim, what do you feel the same way?
Oh, yeah, and I felt that it was an excellent compromise. I have a good working relationship with Peter, so I think we can make this happen so that it's a win-win for everybody, including the citizens who use that as an area to park.
Yeah, I mean, last weekend, there must have been over 100 cars and trucks down there on the beach, and the weekend before, when there wasn't something major, I went down there about 30. You know, it is a very heavily used beach, not only in the summer, but in the winter. So I'm glad that we were able to use it all year long. Does anybody have any other questions? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
Move to approve the Brewster lease as discussed.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item on the agenda is Abenaki and Popwell COVID-19 capacity levels. Do I have somebody here who wants to speak to that?
So I've been having some requests. I think in your packet you have requests from the Kingswood High School. They want to increase the limit. So I'm just passing it up the chain. And then I've also had requests for the Abenaki ski area. So I thought with numbers going down a little bit, like if we could just examine both facilities and see what our thoughts are.
My understanding on Monday, the Governor Wentworth School District is removing mask as of March 7th, and it seems to be that we should be in sync. I might do it the week early because that's school vacation, but I think we are. I looked yesterday, there were 12. We were at 50-some, so we're definitely going way down, and I think it makes sense to follow the school district, and I would say we just open everything up unless somebody has an issue with that, because that seems to be what they're doing. Luke?
I'd like to see the lodge. I think the lodge should be open too, to the public, so they can go inside and watch their children as they ski and stuff like that. I think that's important. We should get it open as soon as possible.
I agree. That was both facilities.
Yep.
I was thinking. I was over there today, and I would have liked to have gone into that lodge. It was getting windy, watching the kids, so. Jim, do you have any comments?
No, the only thing that I would ask is, you mentioned a date. As far as I'm concerned, if this is something that you want to make happen tomorrow, I think that's something we can make happen. It's your discretion as to when you want to make it happen.
I'm comfortable with tomorrow. Anybody not?
I have one question. Could you, in the lodge, could you have a section cordoned off, like make it so that if people feel comfortable without or with masks, they sit in certain locations, or is that possible?
I would suggest we don't go down that road.
Just open it up.
Creating some separation. And
Some people are going to still wear masks.
Yeah,
they're going to be very upset about it.
And if you don't want to, stay outside.
Yeah.
It's not something it isn't a performance inside. So are we saying then as of February 17th?
I am okay with that if Christine is.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make, or do you want to make the motion, Dave? Are you ready?
I'll second it.
Okay. I'll make the motion that we take off all COVID restrictions for Abenaki Ski Lodge and Pop Whalen Arena as of February 17th.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank
Okay.
you, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is the Lakes Region Model Railroad Stewardship Agreement. Jim, are you going to take this, or John?
I'll start it off and then hand it over to John. So we have been working with Mr. Sims on the stewardship agreement for the Railroad Museum. We've got that at this point to what we believe is a document that we can live with, that the town can live with. Mr. Sims is happy with, I believe. It's past legal counsel muster. And, one of the next items is to talk about the lease agreement, which heavily refers to the stewardship agreement. Mr. Sims, you want to talk about the specifics related to the stewardship agreement?
Yes, thank you. John Sims, Lakes Region Model Railroad Museum. The stewardship agreement is a consequence of accepting LCHIP funding. LCHIP funding is for the restoration of historic properties, and they want to be sure that we don't, the day after the funding has been spent, turn around and turn it into something that is not historic. So the stewardship agreement is an agreement to maintain the historic nature of the building for the next 10 years. 10 years and a day, we can turn it into whatever we want, but for the next 10 years, this restricts us to what we can do. So when we need to do internal work, we just need to let LCHIP know and get their approval, which is, it's going to be important to get. But so that's the purpose of the stewardship agreement.
Does any board member have any questions or concerns for Mr. Sims? Brad?
John, just one question, just to make sure I understand the language correctly. On the recipients, the covenant of stewardship, this implies that your group, the Model Railroad Group, is going to be the ones filling out the annual report that goes to LCHIP?
Yes.
Okay, so.
As far as you're concerned, the responsibility is totally on the museum, and you would only step in if the museum ceases to exist at some point during the next 10 years.
Okay, yep, just want to clarify that, so thank you.
Anybody else have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to sign the Model Railroad Stewardship Agreement.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All righty. Next item on the agenda, Lakes Region Model Railroad Lease Agreement. Jim?
So this is a sister document really to the Stewardship Agreement. We sat down with Mr. Sims, Mr. Owens, and Linda and myself, Dave Senecal. We went through, we had a couple of takeaway items that we had to work with. I worked with Mr. Sims on that, and legal counsel. I believe we got that rectified to this point. The language reflects a lot of our other leases that we have in town, and it refers to the stewardship agreement should there be an event of catastrophic nature in the facility that we would have to refer to. I think it's a good document. I think Mr. Sims can probably sum up more than that.
What was your question?
Is there anything else you'd like to add to it?
It is a very sort of a routine landlord-tenant relationship. The one exception is that the rent is $1 a year, and this reflects the fact that the museum has raised something like $200,000 to be invested in a town-owned building to preserve it.
Any selectmen have a question? Brian?
Yeah, do you need to include in the lease agreement your dedicated parking spots for your employees?
There are no dedicated parking spots.
I thought at the end of the building by the EV station there was going to be at least 1 or 2 dedicated parking spots just for the employees of the museum.
No.
That's what I'm aware of.
Nope, it's all open municipal parking.
Nope.
Are you going to need a parking spot?
Well, the first come, first served. They may have to park on Glendon Street. But no, there was no provision for reserved parking.
Any other questions?
I just have one question, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Sims, but I think this is important for the board and the community to know. This lease goes into effect upon the occupancy permit being issued. At that point, that's when this lease becomes enforced.
Correct.
How far out do you believe you are from securing that occupancy permit?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I need a conversation with the planning department to find out what they require. What is the appropriate time to apply for the occupancy permit? I don't know if it's when the model railroaders start working inside to build the museum or when we're open to the public.
Thank you.
But it's somewhere in that area.
And we probably should be notified when that happens. That's the only thing I think the board really needs to know.
I will have a conversation planning tomorrow about that.
Okay.
Right.
Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
Move to approve the Model Railroad lease agreement.
Second.
Second.
I get 2 seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You have your agreement.
Thank you very much
released.
indeed.
Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Sims.
The next item I have on the agenda is the Wolfeboro Community TV MOU, and Brad, you're going to speak to this?
Yes, thank you. We had a board meeting this morning, Wolfeboro Community TV, which in one of the topics of discussion was the MOU. We got understanding that it had been through legal counsel. It was pretty much drawn out and ready to be signed. And also knowing that we're still working on a franchise agreement between the town and what is now Breeze Line, I guess, or Atlantic Broadband, what it used to be. We kind of felt that we leaned towards the idea that Mr. Pinio and Timothy had spoken about of postponing the signing of the MOU until that franchise agreement is in place, in case there's any changes in that franchise agreement that would affect the MOU, that we could address it at that time, get the changes done in that, then all the documents would be in sync with each other. So, so we're kind of recommending that we kind of just put this, we have at this stage right now, we just got to sit on it until the franchise agreement is ironed out.
Yeah, I agree. I would prefer to have that franchise agreement done and all the documents lined up. Any other members have any comments or concerns? So I'm assuming you want to make a motion to table this?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table the signing of the MOU between the Wolfeboro Community TV and the town of Wolfeboro.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Madam Chairperson, just
Sure.
one item about that, and I'm sure we'll get into it. As far as municipal committees are concerned, we have openings for the cable franchise committee. There's 4 spots, so if there's people interested in getting involved in that going forward, we certainly could use the help so that we can get this thing done.
Good plug. All right.
Your phone will ring tomorrow.
Yes, it'll be just ringing off, yeah. Other business, does anybody have any other business? I do. I want to remind everybody that voting is on March 8th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. up here in the Great Hall. And if you're going to be out of town, you may now apply for an absentee ballot. So please come out and vote. Committee reports. I'll start down here with Brad, and we'll go this way this time.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, last night we had a planning board meeting. There were no public hearings, but the town did come in. Mr. Pino came in and gave a great presentation of the Pop Whalen project to the planning board for informational purposes. There was a lot of good discussion, feedback, back and forth, a lot of questions answered. So that was a very productive meeting, I thought. As I just talked about, we had a Wolfeboro Community TV meeting this morning, as we talked about the MOU here. And I also met last week with the town manager, Dave Ford and Casey. We had a meeting on the ARPA funds and the projects and moving forward with some of the stuff that we want to try and utilize that money for. So that was pretty much it for me.
Dave?
I think you forgot one. We had the deliberative session.
Yes, we did.
So most of us were tied up with that for one whole evening. That's all I have.
Okay. I had 2 meetings with the Friends of Pop Whalen. I went to the Chamber Quarterly Executive Board meeting, and I would like to inform the public that they are going to have their quarterly meeting on March 3rd from 7:30 to 9, and at that meeting, Luke and myself will be answering questions regarding the Warren article. So anybody who'd like to have some more information on that, come join the chamber on Thursday, March 3rd from 7:30 to 9. I also had a library trustees meeting, and they're going to hold an event again on March 3rd from 4 to 6, and it is an open house to have the public stop by to meet the new library director. And then Wolfeboro Waters, and I have a number of things under Wolfeboro Waters. The first one, you will see posters going around town of Wolfeboro Waters. They have a QR code that will bring you to the website, and also if you'd like to get a free quarterly newsletter, the QR code up at the top is for that. At the meeting on Monday, we heard the presentation on the North Inlet study for Rust Pond, similar to what we had here at the board meeting. The Wolfeboro Waters Committee is recommending to the board that we look at spending the $52,000 for the project explained in that report and to apply for a 319 grant. So that's a recommendation coming back to the board. The committee also would like the town to address the rafting or boating just the other side of the Cary Beach swim lines, and that we need to do with the state. And I had a conversation with Jim today, and he is going to look at what he has and see what we can do with the state. The town planner is working on the $100,000 grant for the Wolfeboro Bay watershed study. That has to be out by, he told us he was going to have it by the middle of May. He was going to have that completed. That's all I have. Luke?
I didn't have anything.
Brian?
I had an EDC meeting that was canceled. I'm working on a couple of personal projects. One is trying to find a way that we would have a better conduit as a town for customer care with Breeze Line. So I've been working with some of the executives at Breeze Line at the upper levels and seeing if we're going to have a way to maybe have our citizens have a better conduit when they have issues with their cable from time to time. I also am working with some people in town to try and figure out a way for people who have a financial need managing to update their septic systems with a grant or without as much of a cost to them or to the town. So that's something that, stay tuned. I'm looking at some grants potentially with the USDA. So that's where I am.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yep.
There's one thing I forgot to mention too from the planning board meeting last night was the planning board would like to schedule a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen regarding work that we're going to be doing on density and stuff like that, relating to the water and sewer system, stuff like that, just so that they're informed of where we're at town-wise with our utilities and stuff for projects coming forward and everything. We just wanted to have a joint meeting and discussion and kind of stay in the loop with everything, so.
We definitely should do that, and I think, Jim, we need some documents back first before we get that meeting, and you'll let whoever's chair at that time know exactly when we should do that, but we should
Correct.
do that sooner than later.
Correct. As soon as those finalized documents regarding capacity are finalized, we'll get them into the board for review. I'm sure Mr. Ford will give a presentation on it, and then I think it makes sense to have that joint meeting, and whoever the chair is at that point, I will absolutely work with them to make that happen.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Town managers report.
Okay, a few things. As Brad alluded to earlier, we had a meeting for ARPA funds. I would anticipate on the next meeting, March 9th, there'll be public hearings to accept those warrant article monies from the ARPA funds. For those who don't know, town reports are out. They're very nice. They're easy to read. Can pretty much read them without my glasses. They are also available on the town website. If you go down the left-hand side of the homepage, there's an icon labeled Town Reports, and you can review the report electronically, any of the historical reports, or you can pick up one at the library or here at Town Hall. I believe the Board of Selectmen has a copy of the Voter's Guide for review. We're hopeful to get that in the paper here shortly. February 21st, the town offices will be closed in recognition of President's Day. As Brad said earlier, attended Pop Whalen last night, or excuse me, attended planning board meeting last night. Good takeaways from that meeting. One of the things that'll be happening, and I've reached out to them, we'll be going in front of the Conservation Commission to discuss the plan. Norway Plains will most likely go with us so that we can inform them as to where we're heading and those types of things relative to that project. An item that I kind of want to talk about a little bit as well is the warrant article regarding the public safety construction documents. We are in essentially the final stages of the conceptual design of the police department. I would anticipate on March 9th, the police will give a presentation on the footprint and the layout of the building going forward. Just to give a historical perspective here, we started this project in 2017 where we put out an RFP for architectural services. We interviewed 9 different architectural firms, chose the architect we did. We've been working with them diligently ever since. If you recall, the first project concept that we looked at was the renovation and expansion on the existing site, which was just short of $12 million. From that meeting, we took away that we need to do cost benefit of a standalone fire station, standalone police station, or a joint facility located elsewhere. We evaluated all the town properties that we owned. We looked at a couple of properties in town that we don't own and did some concept fitting. We also looked briefly at the bank building on Center Street, which, as we were looking at it, Brewster bought. And at this point, what we've done is we've narrowed down the location. We don't have the property to be able to build a standalone complete public safety building, so that's why we're going with this phased approach with the police station coming in front of us hopefully next year. The following year would be rehabilitation of the fire station, and then a future goal of replacement of the apparatus base. If this warrant article doesn't pass, we are essentially dead in the water with any more planning relative to the public safety asset planning. So this is an important warrant article for us to pass. We did have a conversation at our last Public Safety Committee meeting. If that article does not pass for some reason, one of the things that we will do immediately is replace the dispatch console, because we know we're going to be several years out from that point. So I think we're in pretty good shape where we're at right now. We've got some more work to do. Once that warrant article, we know if it passes, we will be looking at an RFP for final design and construction manager to give us sharpened pencils, pricing, to hopefully come back to the voters next year with a plan and a solid price for a police station. So stand by for more of that in the March 9th meeting. And one last thing, Christine was approached earlier today, or later this afternoon rather, regarding a entity that would like to hold a tournament at the ice arena. Christine, can you speak a little bit to this? It's really a last-minute thing, and we need to get the ball rolling if this is something the board is interested in entertaining or not. So, Christine?
Okay. So the She-Wolves was not able to complete their season this year because they didn't have enough people to run their season. They couldn't afford to do it. So one of the members, and I think they still need to get some clarity on it, but one of the members wanted to know if they could host a one-day tournament on March 19th, asked if the town could donate the ice. Any money raised is going to the Friends of Pop Whalen. So that was, they need to know sooner than later in order to advertise it. Typically, the She-Wolves has a tournament every season. It's the last weekend in March. Very heavily attended prior to COVID. When COVID happened, it kind of fizzled out, and then we kind of lost the team. So they're looking at March 19th, but the next Selectmen's meeting is March 9th, so that's why we just wanted to put it in your wheel to see what you want.
Board members, anybody have any comments, questions? My feeling is they had played every other year. It's a time when they do a tournament anyhow, so they're local. They're our team, and boy, if they want to raise money for the Friends of Pop Whalen, I'm all for it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't. So does somebody want to make a motion to allow this?
Well, I'll make a motion that we allow March 19th. Is that the date?
Yes, it
For a
is.
tournament at Pop Whalen
Second?
for the She-Wolves? Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain just because if you're raising money for the Friends, just to be clear here.
Thank you. We'll get the required documents as far as insurance and whatnot, and get those in front of the board on that March 9th meeting, just for a formality to cover our bases.
Sounds good. Any questions from the press? Alyssa?
No, I don't. I'm here, but I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any input from the public? John?
A question to the town manager. When can I realistically come by and pick up the signed stewardship agreement? Because I then need to take it to Concord, get them to sign it, and after I do that and post it to the registry, we then get paid.
I would say tomorrow morning.
When?
Tomorrow morning.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
They will sign it this evening. Tomorrow morning, we'll make copies of it, so we have them here, and we'll be good to go.
I'll be by. Thank you. And the other comment is that I've been interacting with the roads crew over the last year, both in construction and also in their winter activities, and you have a magnificent crew of people on the roads working.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we should remember, usually at the end of the snow season, we send them a letter thanking them because they do a wonderful job. So, all right, any other public input? All right, I need a motion to go into non-public session.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Brad?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
I'm yes. Luke?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
All righty. We should have a bunch of stuff.